Distinguished coach of the evening, turn your attention to the video screen.
John Narcy, distinguished coach. John Narcy spent 36 years leading the Michigan State University diving team. But that's not where his story started. Narcy started his diving career in Gary, Indiana at Tolston High School. The school did not have a diving team, so John played football. And with the help of some of his teammates, a diving team was started so John could excel at the sport he loved. He went on to win the Indiana State High School Diving Championship in 1953 without a coach, before taking his talents to the University of Michigan. While in Michigan, Narcy was coached by Olympic gold medalist Bruce Harlan. Narcy was a two-time All-American and captain of the 1957 NCAA Championship swimming and diving team. He was also the recipient of the Yost Award, which honors students who are deemed outstanding for their moral character and good fellowship, scholastic ability, intellectual capacity and achievement, physical ability, and vigor, who showed real capacity and promise of leadership and success. Narcy became a coach and physical education teacher and made stops at Argo High School in Summit, Illinois, Niles High School in Skokie, Illinois, and Hinsdale High School in Hinsdale, Illinois. Along the way, Narcy also performed as a professional diver in the New York Aqua Follies and performed and directed diving exhibitions and comedy shows. Next, Narcy went on to become the head coach at Michigan State University and the first diving coach for the institution. He was named the National Coach of the Year in 1990 and garnered Big Ten Coach of the Year honors 4 times. He coached the 1992 Olympian Julie Farrell Ovenhouse and 1980 Olympians Kevin McKeever and David Bergering. His divers brought home 50 All-American honors, 1 NCAA individual championship, and 6 individual Big Ten championship titles. He also coached 4-time All-American Mike Brown. In 2001, he received the Fred A. Caddy Award for Lifetime Achievement in the sport. Along with his coaching duties, Narcy earned a master's degree at Michigan State and taught in the kinesiology department. He was also active in the judging arena. Narcy was chosen to judge at the U.S. Olympic diving trials from 1976 through 1992, as well as various Big Ten and NCAA championships. Narcy once said, "I've always coached with 110% effort. I've gotten a lot out of coaching. It's made me feel like somebody. It feels good to know that I can bring kids here, change them, make them better. Probably made some mistakes along the way, but hopefully I've influenced them, not only as athletes, but also as people." Narcy retired at the end of the 2002 season after 36 years in the position. He was a loving husband to wife Pat and father to Brandon. Today, we welcome John Narcy into the USA Diving Rings of Honor as a distinguished coach.
Please help me welcome Eric Best to the stage to present the award.
Well, I was already worried enough about being emotional, and that kind of got to me. For those of you who know, Michigan State University had 2 diving coaches in its history. I'm the other guy. And unfortunately right now, we don't have a 3rd diving coach in history because they cut our program, so hopefully that's going to change. But currently I'm coaching at IU, so I had a bit of a fun day. And I got to use one of the lines that Narcy would always use for me when I was going in to do my last dive in a competition. He looked at me, called me over, and I just remember him looking at me, and he just said, "Just don't invent any new dives." So when Carson was getting ready to do his last dive, I leaned over to Drew and I said, "Well, we just need to make sure he doesn't invent any new dives." And he sure took care of it. Another thing I wanted to include from that video that they didn't tell you is that when Narcy went to Michigan, he went on a football scholarship. After the 2nd year, they got a new football coach there, and the new football coach wanted to know who the hell John Narcy was who never came to practice. So they gave him a football scholarship to come dive. So, The other thing that we look at, when you saw all the great divers that that he coached and talked about, and noticed that I wasn't on there. But one of the great things that made him so special was how he treated all of us. I mean, it didn't matter the worst diver, best diver on the team. We were all so important to him, and just for me for him when he was retiring, and he called me up on the phone. He said, Eric, I want you to know I'm retiring, and I want you to replace me. And I said to him, Narcy, they're not going to hire me. I was like, I don't have any college coaching experience. All I've been doing is I've just been coaching high school. Why the hell Michigan State's going to hire me? And he said, first thing, he said, you've been working my camps. I know what you know, and I know how you coach, and I know how you treat people. And the second thing is that they're going to hire who they won't tell them to hire. And so, for me, that led to 20 absolutely wonderful years at Michigan State. Now I'm in my third year at IU, and having an absolute blast. Let's see. Well, that's about it. I know this is I'm really honored to be able to be here to present this to Brandy Oliver, and Brandy and I, we've known each other since we were teenagers, which was about 5 years ago. So, but I would like to call Brandy up and present her with this award, recognizing her and my wonderful coach. Also want to acknowledge Mark Steiner, who was one of my heroes when I was a kid coming to Michigan State, who I got to look up to, who only dropped me on my head a couple of times when he was pulling me in the road. So I really appreciate that, Mark. So, Brandy Oliver.
I just want to say a few things, but before I kind of do, I also want to say I was at that wave pool back in Decatur, and I did idolize Cynthia Powder when I was growing up, so really happy to be here with that. And I've been in the background of many of you wonderful people through the years, and have seen my dad take people who other people didn't believe in, and he saw something in them, and he made them great divers. And it really not only made a difference to diving and the diving world, but it made a difference to each individual person. So I am so honored to accept this award for my dad, John Narcy. My dad died last year in February. He died on my birthday, and that made him my official guardian angel. And I know he's here tonight honoring all of you, and I also know he's cracking a couple sick jokes about some of you as well. I talked to some of you all, and you're really gracious and try to be very nice, but I have heard the stories. And we all love him for the amazing man he was. He lived an uncommon life, and he was an uncommon man, and he was a great man. He's a legend in the sport of diving, and he will be remembered by everyone, not only as one of the fairest judges in the Olympic trials, as he judged many of them, but also a multi-Olympian coach, where I wish we did see Dave Bergering, is how you pronounce his name, and so love you, Dave, and Kevin McNamara as well. And but as a coach who had all these accomplishments, really, he always said that he cared more about the diver than the diving. And I think those of you who worked with him know that firsthand. I want to thank Eric for continuing MSU diving. I want to thank Taylor and Lee, who are so gracious through this whole thing, and USA Diving. My dad, as he was just a few years ago, wanted to go to a pool to watch a practice, and the coach at the pool, I took my Michigan State book to the pool, and I'm like, this is my dad, he's John Narcy, you know, he's a legend in diving, and I talked to the coach, and unfortunately the coach didn't know who he was, and she was like, he can sit over there, everybody sits over there, and I'm like, he's in his 80s, he needs to sit in the shade, and so I called Lee, and we talked on the phone, and he said, you know, let me take care of everything, and went back there, and he got to see a practice that he hadn't seen in a really long time. He did say a lot of people sucked, but okay, that's John, right? So Narcy always was one to say it like it is, and we all appreciated that for him. So for anyone competing in these Olympic trials, one of the things that he would say while you were practicing is your next dive going to be better? Then save it for the meet. And legendary John Narcy is the world's greatest unknown. On behalf of my dad, his famous farewell is, see you later. Come back when you can't stay so long. So I'm very honored. Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to steal that the next time. That's awesome. All right, our next category